Do you guys have a group chat that you guys are active on?
Oh no, they're not. My mom doesn't know how to use iPhone or anything. My mom has Android, so she calls me every now and then, all the time, really, texts me whenever with her Android, so it's really just me and her little green bubbles.
Is there a Nigerian athlete that's like your inspiration whenever you're on the field or training?
I know Christian Okoye is the Nigerian nightmare. I can't really just say, oh, one's my inspiration, because there's a lot of us out there doing it, you know what I'm saying? So like, it just shows me, well, I can do it too.
You guys are definitely there. Among the Power 5, only the SEC didn't have at least one Nigerian player on its all-conference first or second teams in 2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good stat right there.
And actually, in 2016, also in the NFL draft, there were as many players taken from Lagos, Nigeria, as from the city of Chicago.
Whoa.
And they had the same amount of players taken in the draft, Chicago and Lagos, Nigeria.
Message.
Yeah. Where are you from? Where are your parents?
I was born in Lagos, so.
Oh, is it pronounced Lagos?
Lagos.
Oh, okay.
Lagos. You said it right. So hopefully I becomes one of those guys to add to that stat.
Who else on the team is a first or second generation Nigerian or from Africa?
So Josh Oriboko, Brandon Stevens is half Nigerian, Alex Akinbulu, Chigozie Odua, Osa.
And you can tell that they're Nigerian just from their names.
Oh no, already. Yeah, just from. I can tell you're Nigerian by your face.
By their face.
I know that. I have that look. There's a way. There's just a thing about how their nose is shaped that's just like, he's Nigerian. That's the difference between us and African Americans, I would say.
And I read that Nigerians really value education, especially higher education, and that really lets you guys succeed in college football and beyond.
I didn't play football 8th grade year because I didn't do like my homework assignments that my dad had for us during the summer. Like, not even the school. He went and bought a book, and I didn't do like 2 days out of it, and like he asked me about it at the table that night, and I always say this as a joke because I could have easily left that table just to go to sleep, and if we never would have had that conversation, I would be playing 8th grade football. I would have played, who knows, I probably would have played linebacker, because that's what I was really playing at that point. I literally was grabbing bread to eat, and then that's when he sparked more conversation, and he was like, so how's the books been? Have you been doing it? Told me to go get it. Got it, looked at it, and he said, you're done. You're not playing football 8th grade, like, at all. And he was serious. I wrote a letter to him, like, told him, like, I want to play. Missed the whole 8th grade season. Went and played soccer instead.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what happened in 9th grade?
Like, coaches had to, like, convince my parents, like, to let me play. Like, 9th grade, they barely let me play. If my coaches didn't tell them, like, yo, like, he has a chance to, like, get a scholarship, like, I really believe you guys should let him do this, like, don't hold him back.
The coaches came, they let your parents know that you have something special in you, that you have talent.
They were just like, yeah, they just like, they don't want them to hold me back from something that, you know, could potentially help them, you know? And my parents listened, especially sophomore year when I got my first offer. That's when, like, my dad was like my number one, like, everything. He took me to camps, took me to meetings, took me to whatever I had to be for football, like drove to Oakland when he was sick. Like, my dad did a lot. Like, he bought in. That was the best part about it. That once he saw it, he like bought in, and he was just like, you know,
100% supported you.
Exactly. Good job. This might be my best one yet, honestly. Don't say I did it for the camera.
So how do you feel about people getting more into African culture, especially now after the Black Panther movie?
I always tell people too that Black Panther is not only like a depiction of what people think Africa is about. It's really a depiction of what, you know, what African Americans envision themselves coming from, because they don't have, think about it, their whole pastime was erased, basically taken away from them, so they don't know where they're from. So I think as Black Panther, as their depiction of what they think they hail from, what they come from, you know, no offense to Africa, but it's like, it makes sense that, you know, think about it, if you didn't know where you were from and you were dreaming of where you were from, you would dream of the greatest thing ever, Wakanda. You know, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So really, it's like, it's not that I think if they're getting back into the African movie, because I think people have known Africa's been there the whole time. It's just now the movies made them more aware about the culture that they, you know, that they potentially come from. They just don't know exactly where.
And Nigeria is definitely on the come up. According to a United Nations report that I read, Nigeria will be the 3rd most populous country in the world by 2050, overtaking the United States.
But I don't know if that's a good thing though. Isn't that like too many people in that little area?
Is it? Yeah. How big is Nigeria?
It's the most, to me, it's the most popular African country. I don't care what anybody says. And I feel like I'm not even being biased, even though I am Nigerian. Like, even being Nigerian and hearing how much Nigerian things I hear, that just lets me know, like, we're the most popular, the most popular African country.
And I've definitely read those stories about kids growing up in like impoverished places in Nigeria. They go to like these basketball camps, they're running out there, and they get discovered by some guy who brings them over to America, and then they become like football stars, and they become, you know, just getting scholarships to all these schools.
No, a guy from SC, Wale. He used to play basketball in Nigeria. Like, he's from Nigeria. I think now he's at SC on scholarship balling.
His life just changed like that just because of football.
Just because, I mean, there's so many athletes out there in that little country, and the thing about them is, like, it's a third world country. They're really just happy. They, like, even though they work hard, I mean, sometimes they can complain about the government, what's going on, but really they're happy people. They're happy with what they have. They're happy with where they're at. People who are on the streets selling every day, selling that same bread every day, like, they do it every day and live every day, find a way to live, and they're happy with it.
It's like they derive happiness through other sources besides
they're
like,
not materialistic people, you know, because we're smart. That's what I'll say about Nigeria. We're smart. Always head in there. From like watching my dad throughout my entire life, that man used his head first. Like, the way his mind was literally like to me, like Floyd Mayweather fighting. Like, that's how his mind was, because that's how he analyzed everything. Like, smart. He can read books. My grandpa's smart.
So your last name is definitely Nigerian, Olorunfumi. I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
But a lot of teachers probably had trouble saying your name, like middle school, high school, even right now in college.
Sure, in elementary school, like, they butchered my name in different ways that I've heard it that I never had heard of. At award assemblies, like, when they call my name, that's when it would be bad. So, like, my parents would come when I'm getting awards, and they'd be like, yo, that's, like, come on. Like, that's my name too. So if you're saying that like that, you're kind of disrespecting me. So it was so bad to the point that my dad went up to the school and taught them how to say my name.
He went and taught them how to say your name.
Ever since then, they never messed up my name. That's how serious we take it. We don't play around with our names.
So what do we have here?
We have a traditional clothing. It's this is like the top part.
That's super colorful.
Yeah, it is very colorful.
How would you put it on? Is it like a shirt? You just put it over you?
You could. I mean, some have matching pants, but you could like wear your own pants, style it out, different shoes.
Traditional Nigerian wear. And when do you wear this? At celebrations or?
Celebrations, or honestly feel like it, but you know, mostly celebrations. A lot of celebrations. It's always colorful.
The detail.
So much.
Where'd you get it from? Or did your mom get it for you?
My mom got it for me.